All right, everybody. We got two episodes in 1 week. This is episode 19. This time we're gonna be with Ramos. March Madness is coming, man. What are your thoughts kind of overall on the bracket?
My thoughts?
Yeah, all
Yeah,
you,
go
Ray.
yeah.
I said Ramos.
It's the best time of the year right now. March Madness, college basketball. Uh, I felt like a few teams were robbed. Like Virginia, I didn't think they deserved to be in. I thought Seton Hall, St. John's, and U Pitt deserved to be in. And St. John's even declined the NIT invite. So, feel bad for those teams that got robbed. Uh, like Ray Pitino said, everyone here the net ranking talked about again because it's kind of a fraudulent in some ways.
You mentioned three teams that should have been in, and you mentioned one team that shouldn't have been out, should have been out, in Virginia. What are the other two teams that you think were in that should have been out?
Um,
Not a Colorado fan. Not a Colorado fan. You could boot
yeah,
them.
Colorado's up there.
We'd both
Um,
be happy in Colorado.
this is and then they should have been in there, but FAU as an 8 seed was kind of nuts to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree about seeding. So you would have Colorado out, Virginia out. Is there another team to put your three teams in or no?
Uh,
In FAU could have been bounced. They were right on the cut line too.
yeah, FAU could have bounced.
Dayton could have been bounced.
Dayton
Um,
could have been, yeah, Dayton could have been bounced. No idea how they're a 7 seed.
A&M.
A&M, four quad four losses.
oh yeah, I'd take A&M out. That's my third team.
Okay, that's fair. We talked earlier, Zach and I, and we kind of agreed it was mainly the seeding that we had issues with the entire bracket. You have a little bit more issues with the entire bracket, but
Hey,
instead of talking about
Derek, you were talking about the NIT before. I saw you talking about declining bids. I saw this on Twitter today. So I don't know how the NIT like works, but I guess like all these power conferences get automatic bids because we talked about how number one seeds in conference tournaments don't
Well,
get
so it
bids.
doesn't happen anymore. So
Right.
this year for the NIT, the number one teams for conferences, like for instance in the MAC, Quinnipiac, they didn't make the NIT because this
Right.
is the first year where they don't get an automatic qualifier.
Right. So I saw that. So I guess each Power Six conference gets two automatic bids now. So Utah accepted the bid for the Pac-12. So then the Pac-12, then they have to go down in standings order or something to ask another Pac-12 team to join. All seven Pac-12 teams remaining declined to join. So even whoever came in last in the Pac-12 standings this year, I don't even know off the top of my head. It might have been I mean, Stanford was towards the bottom. Arizona State was towards the bottom. They were both asked and they both declined. So literally the worst Pac-12 teams are declining. So I thought that was funny and shows you how stupidly messed up the
Yeah.
college basketball postseason landscape is. With the transfer portal opening on Monday too, which we already talked about, that's insane as well.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it's dumb. I think it's the same kind of aspect with college football. Just when the transfer portal is, you're just degrading everything, and you're even seeing in college basketball too, teams that are making the tournament, players are not playing in the tournament because they enter the portal and they want to find their spot. And it makes sense for them if you're not playing with the team who makes the tournament, opt out and figure it out. It just overall sucks. But let's go to the nitty gritty now.
Wagner's going to pose some problems in North Carolina. That's a pesky team.
No, they're not. They're not causing any problems. They just clearly looked undersized. They don't need Armando Bacot might go for 2020 round one.
Armando Bacot is so overrated.
I wouldn't say he's overrated. He's inconsistent.
He just
There's a
hasn't
difference. I
been
think,
Same
well,
idea.
because the thing is, his footwork is awful. And if he versus anyone his size or larger, he just poses no threat offensively. And I think, and that's been definitely over or overwhelming as a Carolina fan because I thought he was gonna be like playing with mice. Like I thought he was gonna have like the year Zach Edey had last year was the year I thought Armando Bacot was gonna have this year. Just due to naturally like I thought he was gonna take a bigger jump. I mean, he's already arguably the best player to ever wear the Carolina blue. I mean, he has the most rebounds in that program. but I think it's just because of how much depth this
Oh,
team
what
has
did you
too.
say, dude? Are you crazy?
Depth,
Armando
depth.
Bacot is the best player to wear Carolina blue.
He might be.
Armando Bacot? What does
I
he
mean,
want?
Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player to play at Carolina. If you look at actual like who played it, if you look at Carolina, it's Hansbrough or Bacot, and Bacot has the most rebounds in the program. And then I think he's what, fourth in points?
What about Marcus Page?
I mean, he's actually our coach now, one of our coaches, player development coach. I wouldn't say it's Marcus Page though.
All right, I
He's
don't
not
know.
even the best point guard.
I don't
Marcus
know.
Page isn't even the best point guard. It's Ty Lawson.
Okay, what about Tyler Lawson? He didn't have better career than Armando Bacot.
Armando Bacot literally has a record all to himself.
Armando Bacot has been in college for 2 decades. He's missed the
Two
tournament.
decades, more like 20 years.
That is two
This
decades.
fifth year. It's his fifth year.
Are you kidding me? That might be worse than what Ramos just said. Are you don't did you hear that, Ramos?
No, what do you say?
That is one of the dumbest things Derek's ever said. I literally said Armando Bacot's been in college for 2 decades. He goes, 2 decades, more like 20 years. I was like, bro, that's the same thing. We're taking a little detour here. I don't know if Sports Illustrated or Sporting News, they released a cover. It was like this 5 best players in college basketball or something, and there were 6 people on the cover. You know, Carolina had one of the 6 people on the covers. I don't know if you guys saw this photo. Do you know who the Carolina representative on the cover of
RJ Davis.
Paxton Wojak? What are we doing? How did
Are
he
you
make the
serious?
cover? Yeah, I gotta find this. You guys, let me see. Sporting News, maybe.
Oh, while you find that, Musso, I'll ask Ramos a question. So for UNC, they might have one of the as the 1 seed, they might have one of the toughest second round matchups depending on who they play. They're gonna play MSU no matter what. Are you concerned at all or no?
I think it depends on who. I'd rather play Mississippi State than Michigan State, to be honest with you.
I'm not saying
I think Michigan State lines up or lines up better to play Carolina, just like due to their strengths. Plus, they have the pedigree. Tom is one of the best coaches historically in college basketball.
Though I will say
Today's top 10.
one thing about Mississippi State you talked about. You want a big who can stop Armando Bacot. Tulu Smith on Mississippi State might be one of the most accustomed bigs in the country to stopping Bacot based off his size and his ability too. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It is going to be an MSU either way. I'll look for this thing later. I'll find it. It was just Paxton Woj. What are we doing? How is he on the cover with Hunter Dickinson and other guys? Like just pure chaos. Yeah. So Michigan State, Mississippi State. We're gonna talk about this game first. These two teams are the exact same team. Look at their resumes. Mississippi State and Michigan State have some truly awesome wins, and that's the reason they're both in the tournament. I mean, Michigan State's in the tournament because their metrics were super inflated by the fact they beat Baylor by 28 on a neutral court, and that neutral court was in Detroit. So, like, I mean, come on, that's not a neutral court. But I mean, there's no shame. We
also
made the
the
tournament.
brand of Michigan State too. I think that's another thing when you talk about teams.
I
I
mean, that
think
doesn't hurt.
there's
And people talk about how Michigan State's lost 5 of their last 7 games. Each one of those games has been decided by 7 points or less, so it's not like you're getting smoked. They're just Michigan State has not hit the clutch shot to win a game this season. That's a problem. That also makes me sort of confident because we haven't done that all year. What are the odds that we just don't do that all season? It might flip around. But you look at these two teams, Tyson Walker and Josh Hubbard, guard versus guard. Those are two of the best guards in the country. Josh Hubbard's a freshman, too. Tyson Walker's 5th year, so you'd give the 5th year an advantage. Michigan State just did this last year. Tulu Smith
Hold
down.
on. Two of the best guards in the country?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, they're not even the best duo in the country.
They're they're not on the same team. They're on different teams.
just
Josh
talk about
Hubbard,
the two
Oh.
guard from Mississippi State and then the guard for Michigan
two
State.
of the best guards in the country.
Well, I know who Walker is, but I thought the other guy was on Michigan State.
No,
But
no,
still,
that's
RJ
Hubbard.
Davis is the best guard in the country.
I didn't say they were the best guard in the country. I said they were two of the best guards in the country.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay, then fair enough.
reality, you have those two. That is your matchup. Down low, though, Michigan State get exploded. exploded. That's a pause. Exploited. Derek, you know that I complain about the Michigan State big man. I can't stand Jackson Kohler or Carson Cooper. I really don't like when they're playing. Xavier Booker, five-star freshman, can hit threes. He has all the talent in the world. He needs to be playing more. Hopefully, Izzo will trust the freshman. He historically never trusts freshmen. He's not trusting them this year. He's the number 3 recruit in the country for a reason. All that saying, Michigan State has the guard advantage. Mississippi State has the down low advantage. Michigan State, obviously more veteran. Very, very interesting 9-8 game that seems like a complete toss up. It's not just my bias talking, but I like the veteran team in the matchup. And that was set up one hell of a rivalry between me and Ramos on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, let's talk about it. North Carolina versus Michigan State might not even happen, but before
Yeah,
we
let's
talk
preface that.
about
I'm not trying to jinx this.
but before we talk about that game, because there could be a rivalry, well, more of a rivalry between Ramos and I mean you along with me, would be well, it's happening in the first round, possibly if my squad wins on Wednesday at 9:20. It would be Florida versus Boise State if they win against Colorado, and I mean that's gonna be a tough game at 9:20 on Wednesday, which not looking forward to screaming my head off and probably losing my voice during the game. But that's beside the point. So, how do you feel about Florida possibly having to play Boise State, Ramos, on the other side of the bracket in the South region?
Um, I mean, to be honest with you, I think Boise is the better team than Colorado, so I'd rather play Colorado. But Florida, unfortunately, was dealt an awful hand in the SEC championship. I know you guys saw it. Center for Florida, he got hurt in a very bad leg injury, compound fracture. Just when he was starting to get more minutes, he was averaging 19 minutes a game. 5.3 points, pretty much almost 7 rebounds, and pretty much a block a game. So he was more solid on the defensive end than the offensive end. And in March, uh, defense wins championships. So that's where he's really going to be needed. And we were saying it all year, Florida's that 7 seed, 11 seed, wherever they were going to be. They just kept rising up the ranks, one of the hottest teams in the country. They're that team you don't want to play. So UNC is my first team, and for them it's championship or bust. Like anything less than a Final Four or championship is a failure to me. Florida's that team, like surprise team that they can go hot. And I mean, it's really one guy, and it's Walter Clayton Jr. We saw him at Iona as Marist alums and then a current Marist student, Derek. He was at Iona with Rick Pitino, and he pretty much just came into his own at Florida, especially that game against Florida State where he had the game winner, and it came out that he's never liked Florida State and so has always had a lit a fire under him. Zion
Dog.
Pullins, another solid complimentary guard to Walter Clayton Jr. And then Riley Kugel is just a physical specimen. So I really like this Florida team. And I know they came up short against Auburn, and I don't blame them. It was expected after their center went down, but I still think this Florida team can go on a deep run. And I was talking about it with Derek. I think the brackets are very weird. Just the teams in it. Like I think Houston and Purdue kind of have an easier run, but I think Florida can just be that like surprise team, that Cinderella team that always happens every year.
And
So
Tyrese.
in the Florida situation, you say surprise team. You say they can make a run. What are we talking? Are we talking Final Four? Are we talking Sweet 16? Are we talking Elite Eight? What do you talk about from a ceiling perspective for this
So
Gator?
looking at their group, Houston is always that like dominant regular season team that chokes in March. Texas A&M, we said shouldn't even be in. Duke is one of the most choke job in March countries of all time. Uh, they might even lose to Vermont first round.
Oh, stop.
Kentucky's there. Kentucky's there too. I'd say the top 3 teams are Florida, Texas Tech, and then maybe I'll put Houston in there. Florida can go to the Final Four. That's like their ceiling. And that's
Okay.
unbiased.
I can see Elite Eight. I don't see Final Four for Florida, but I understand your point. But saying that Texas Tech and Houston and Florida are the 3 best teams in that region is just delusional.
It's
Um,
insane. Two, now that Tyler Kolek is back healthy playing for Marquette this week, that Florida has Florida has one of the top 15 backcourts in the country. Their problem, Marquette's is even better. Tyler Kolek and Cameron Jones, those are two of the top 10, 15 guards in the country alone on one team, which nobody has that kind of firepower. Not even UConn has that kind of firepower. So
Yeah, I agree with that. Marquette's a scary team.
so that's a scary team to play, especially since they're well rested in the second round. Um, yeah, back to the Boise State Florida matchup. We don't need to talk about how Boise State was screwed and the Mountain West was screwed again. But Derek, tomorrow night, Boise State, Colorado first. Before we get there, what's the confidence meter in Boise State?
Confidence, I'd probably say 75%.
Oh, 2.5 point dogs. That line was four. It's coming down a little bit.
Yes, but the problem is everybody's picking Colorado. But lately today I saw some people picking Boise, and that has me a little bit worried. I just don't like playing in Dayton. Boise just has not played well in Dayton when they've been in Dayton. It's just not a good. They haven't had success in the tournament at all. So that's another concern for me. I think if they win this game, they can go on somewhat of a run. But I think they have to win the game. Like obviously you have to win the game to go on a run. But I think if they win this game against Colorado, they have a chance to move on to the next round.
Boise, I agree. We talked about Tyson Dagenhart. He's the best player on the floor tomorrow night. Now, Colorado.
You think
Yeah,
he's better than Stanley?
too.
Okay.
Yes. Well, yes, easy.
I mean, some people think Stanley's better than Dagenhart. I
Yeah.
like Dagenhart better because I think Dagenhart can shoot the three more. And
Yeah.
he's your body inside. But I mean, some people like Stanley because I feel like he's had more games with 20 points than Dagenhart this season. But Dagenhart, I believe, has had more double doubles than Stanley off the top of my head.
Now, if you watch Colorado in the Pac-12 tournament, they really struggled to score the basketball. They really struggled to score the basketball against Washington State and then against Oregon. Now they have some big boys like Eddie Lampkin down low, De Silva down low, which is being a problem for Boise State. But one thing Boise State can do, and you know it, Derek, they can score the basketball. One of the best scoring teams in the Mountain West. You saw those games they played against New Mexico. They went on that stretch at the end of the season where they went on a tear and they were just making shot after shot after shot. They were dropping 80s in games, 70s in games. Colorado struggling to do that. Colorado has not fared well against good competition this season either. They don't have a lot of bad losses, but I mean, Florida State beat them up earlier this season. I know that was early in the season, but I mean, Boise State, it's wild to say in the Mountain West went through much more of a tougher gauntlet this season, so they're more well prepared. I am more confident than most. I'm around where Derek is right now on Boise State as well. The vibes are high in the football program too. That can only mean to spread the joy over to basketball. Spring practice, Derek, that QB battle between Malachi Nelson and your boy Maddox. But yeah,
It's not a battle. Stop.
but I think I feel very good about Boise State. And then we can get me versus Ramos part two. Really, it would be come first, Boise State, Florida. You know, the secondary teams. It would be a calmer day than the day after would be. But yeah, Boise State and Florida would be such an interesting matchup because if you look at consensus brackets right now, I feel like everyone has Colorado beating Boise State and then Florida. It's almost like everyone thinks Colorado is just this team that's going to Florida somehow suffered one injury and their season's just over. Same with Boise State, that Colorado somehow going to beat them and move on. Every bracket you look at is Colorado Marquette or something crazy like that. So I think Boise State, that makes me feel,
Do.
yeah, that makes me feel even more confident about Boise State. Boise State, Florida would be such a interesting matchup too.
It's
Brand
battle of the blue and orange.
battle of the blue. Do we know where that game would be?
Indianapolis.
Okay, so that's not really a home crowd advantage for anybody. But yeah, but I would be excited to see that game. You did talk about the guard matchup. Now that contrasting styles, Florida, two stud guards, Boise State, a little more big man oriented in that game or forward oriented in that game. So that would be a bit of a contrasting styles. Key for Florida, New Jersey's own, well, not really New Jersey's own, but Seton Hall's own Tyrese Samuel. When he's hot this season, Florida's very hard to beat because I mean he's averaging 14, 7.5 per game. When he's on, he was on my fantasy team this season, so he had a couple 30-12 kind of performances. Very hard when you pair two elite guards with a big man like that to beat him. So limiting Tyrese Samuel because you can slow Walter Clayton and pull him down. You're not gonna limit them. You can limit the other dudes.
I agree.
All right, back to Michigan State, North Carolina. Ramos, what's your confidence meter if you played Michigan State?
To be honest with you, before we were saying, or before I was saying, and I didn't watch too many Mississippi State games, but I was more confident in playing Michigan State. But now, after what you were saying on their strengths and weaknesses, or sorry, I was more confident playing Mississippi State. Now I'm way more confident playing Michigan State, just because of their weaknesses, like you said, with their big man. I think UNC is gonna go to town, but I don't want to jinx anything. But I'm still gonna say I'm 75% confident in a UNC Tar Heel W. And why I'm more confident is because the game is played in Charlotte, North Carolina. The
Cares.
Carolina Crazies are going to travel. It's going to be a momentous
Heck, dude.
occasion.
Who cares?
What?
I said it's
Cares?
Who
great.
cares?
Who cares about the Carolina
Who cares?
State fans
It's
travel everywhere? Travel everywhere. I'm looking at Armando Bacot's stats. I don't care. Am I supposed to be impressed? Against Miami 2 weeks ago, 5 points. North Carolina State 13, Notre Dame 14, Duke 9. Other than Kyle Filipowski, no elite big man in that matchups. Florida State 14, cool. Pitt 19, cool. NC State 18 down the stretch. Like he went through another stretch. Wake, Florida State, Georgia Tech earlier. No elite big man there. 5'9". Like he gets into foul trouble. He's slow. Tyson Walker will have him. Now, this is the matchup Michigan State will deploy Xavier Booker in because he's a stretch five. And that Armando Bacot's kryptonite is moving. He can't move. He's slow. And Xavier Booker out on the top of the key would torch with threes. Just keep feeding the big man. Now, North Carolina might have to take Bacot off the floor at some points because he's not going to be able to keep up. Might have to be a smaller day. But I mean, RJ Davis, obviously the best player on the floor when these two face off, because I'm calling my shot. Michigan State's going to beat Mississippi State by double digits.
Double
By,
digits.
by double digits. Clip this. Clip this. By double digits. Michigan State 70, Mississippi State 57. Lockdown defense. Tyson Walker can hold his own against RJ Davis. He can hold his own against RJ Davis. RJ Davis, obviously the best guard in the country. Tyson Walker can hold his own. Now, role player wise, let's do a little comparison. Cormac Ryan, he's fine. Just a little white boy who can shoot.
he's fine.
He's
He's
no
fine.
AJ Hogarth, Jaden Akins, that's March experience right there. Jaden Akins is the X factor for this Michigan State team. Young and explosive. When he's hot, Michigan State cannot lose. Now, AJ Hogarth and Malik Hall, veterans, the most inconsistent players in the country right now. Right now, these two are as hot or as cold as can be. If those two can stay on the court, not in foul trouble, not making mistakes, not in Izzo's bad grace, that's a dangerous Michigan State team. I understand the role players you have. Harrison Ingram. Now, Harrison Ingram and Malik Hall is an interesting matchup. They kind of cancel each other out in my mind because they play the exact same kind of Draymond Greenish role for their respective teams. Cormac Ryan, it's the shooters. Cormac Ryan and Jaden Akins on the outside who can determine this game. But you all know what's going to happen. North Carolina as a 1 seed, that's a loss. That is a loss. Michigan State goes in to Charlotte. Tyson Walker scores 25 on RJ Fraud Davis.
Standalone.
Then Armando Bacot, 8 points, 9 rebounds. Michigan State silences the crowd. They get up early in this game. They don't look back. They play with the chip on their shoulder. North Carolina scores 19 points in the first half. They come out firing in the second half. They touch 60 in the game. Michigan
You're
State
crazy.
scored 69 points, beats Carolina 69-60. Michigan State to the Sweet 16. This is the team you don't want to face in March. Never let a Tom Izzo team in. Look at what happened last year. Not a good regular season. Guess what they did? Came out and killed Marquette in the second round. This is not a team you want to let get into the tournament because when they get in, even if they're underseeded, this was the fourth ranked team in the country for a reason coming into the season. They will show why they were ahead of North Carolina in the preseason polls. They will beat Carolina in Charlotte, and They will. They will.
You're actually crazy.
You just watch. I can't wait that you're going to be with me to watch that.
I'm literally choking right now because just how delusional you sound.
So
First of
afraid.
all, North Carolina
Okay.
defensively is
North Carolina on
25th.
Saturday.
Is
Oh,
25th
you're
in the
right.
country defensively. And
Okay.
then you want to talk, and then you think we're gonna score 60? You think we're gonna
Yeah.
score 60? We played the best defensive team in the country at the time, or one of them in Tennessee, and we hung 100 on them.
Yeah, that
A
was in
hundred.
December. What'd you do against Virginia a couple weeks ago?
Okay.
52?
A
Yeah.
win's a win, dude. And at the end of the day, we got more of those. And I'm not, and you know what? I was upset we
54.
lost the ACC championship. I was upset. But you know what? They needed a loss like that.
Oh my
Allows them to
God.
Oh,
reset,
God.
compromise, and that's when they're going to go on a tear. And you know what? UNC's won the national champion. They won the national championship more recently than they won their conference. This team has what it takes. They went out, attacked the portal heavy after an embarrassing season prior where they didn't make March. They brought in Harrison Ingram from Stanford, who's a beast. They brought in Cormac Ryan, who can shoot. Elliot Cadeau, one of the more underrated and one of the best playmaking freshmen
Give you
in
that.
college basketball. Seth Trimble is a
No.
solid
No.
defensive guard.
No.
And then, like you said, Baycott, yes, his footwork is slow. Michigan State, because they have more stretch bigs, they will take advantage of that. As long as Baycott doesn't get in foul trouble, which there could be a chance of that, Jalen Washington is kind of like honestly like Isaiah Hartenstein. He can actually play defense on the perimeter. This team has everything. Jalen Withers has been playing tremendous
Oh, we just
basketball
gonna what
lately.
about Paxton Wojak? Let's just go down the whole roster of scrubs. Let's
Seth
just
Trim
no. Back to
the biggest weakness with UNC, and I'd say it's arguably worse than Baycott's footwork or his inconsistent offensive ability, is the smaller guards. And Cadeau and RJ Davis, they're undersized. I expect Michigan State to take advantage of that. But then Hubert Davis, he's one of the best in college basketball. He's going to have a game plan. They'll send double teams. Harrison Ingram, Cormac Ryan is averaging over a steal a game. So, or sorry, just under a steal. RJ Davis averaging a steal a game. This team creates turnovers and they run the fast break like nobody else in college basketball. Listen, I'm not going to say it's 69-60 because it's not. I'm not going to say UNC is going to blow them out because they're not. I expect a high octane, fast paced, high scoring game. UNC wins 89-80.
Oh God.
89-80. Both of you guys are so wrong. It's
Right.
gonna be a close game. 9 points is the difference.
By the
Nine
way,
points is close.
talk about size.
Nine
Tyson Walker,
points, not close. 3 possessions.
Tyson
That's
Walker,
three
and RJ.
possessions.
Three
That's
possessions.
three Cormac Ryan tray balls.
Oh my God.
Listen, RJ Davis is
Stop.
the ACC Player of the Year.
Stop.
He's gonna be the National Player of the Year.
This game's not even gonna happen.
Between
Please.
What?
between that,
What? What?
strong defense,
What?
shooters, veteran presence, you
You know
can't
what I
tell
can't
me that UNC is not a national championship contender.
you know what I can't wait to say?
You were panicking in December about your team. I
You
never had any doubts about
you
my team.
What? You canceled the season after they lost to Syracuse. You said it was over. You know what I can't wait to
That
check?
was a different me. We lived in a different world 2 months ago,
I
3 months
cannot
ago.
wait on Saturday afternoon when Armando Bacot is getting exposed to scream, "That's the best player in Carolina history. That guy right there, that guy. Guess what? He's going home. He can go back to the Outer Banks and star in more of those episodes with Ramos' favorite actresses in the world. He can go over with your girl, Miss Klein, and they can get married or do whatever the hell they're going to do. But guess what? The best player in North Carolina history is going home. Michael Jordan will be weeping because you called him a fraud and you also said Baycott was better and Baycott will lose. It's going to be great. Derek cannot wait. I know he's on the side of Michigan State. And well, Derek's on the
not
side
on
of,
either side.
the side of Mississippi State. He thinks Mississippi State's going to beat Michigan
Well,
State.
no, but if Michigan State wins, I think Michigan State's gonna beat North Carolina.
Yes, he
You must be
does.
in
Not by
you must be in
not by 9 points.
You must be in Disney World because you're dreaming, man.
Like gonna
I
be
don't
like
know if you,
Dude, it's
You
gonna be
put
like
this in
2-1.
college basketball and you turn your Xbox off and you're going to sleep after this.
I know
First of all,
all.
69-60.
I know
That's
all.
that's crazy.
I know ball. I know ball,
You
and I
both,
know
it's gonna be a
all
lot closer game than both you're expecting. I mean, 9 points. It's
9
gonna
points.
be
Nine
within like
points is a
one
very
possession.
close. 9 points is a very close basketball game.
Not, no, it's not.
Yeah.
9 points.
Yes,
That's
it
three
is.
possessions.
No, that just means like some
That's
teammate
three
like
possessions. That's three shots,
four foul
potentially.
shots down the stretch from a 5 point game. Like that's a close game.
It's
No.
gonna
Yeah.
be within
That's
5.
how it's gonna be.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
and
within five
but
points.
it's March. You foul a lot at the end. You're gonna give up every thread. I work with two people who are Carolina fans. Ramos, Carolina fan. One of my close friends from home, Carolina fan. I can't wait to rub it in all of their smug faces.
I can't wait till I send you so many texts that you have to block my number because you're not
You'll be
afraid to
at
kick
his
me
house.
out of
You'll
a
be
chat.
there. Oh my
He's
God.
sitting next to me.
We'll see. We'll see. You might kick me out of your house too. Who knows?
Well, that's why we're not going to my house on Saturday. We need a neutral site.
It's okay.
And you and Michigan State isn't having a neutral site. They're gonna be in the Carolina Crazies. This is just gonna be. It's almost like taking candy from a baby. Because you know what? If I wasn't gonna talk, if you were nervous, but the fact that you're so arrogant and confident and delusional,
You not know him?
I no, because Musso, as confident and arrogant as he can be, he eventually settles and becomes a realist. And I'm gonna wait till he settles. Maybe he wakes up Saturday and he settles.
You
Who
think I'm
knows? But
Friday?
until then, what?
You think I'm sleeping on Friday night? I'll be pacing the house, nervous as hell for this game to start. I want the
Listen,
12:15 on Thursday tip for Michigan State. I don't love how early that is. That's the second straight year we got 12:15. Carolina's at 2:45. I don't love that we're playing early. I don't think that bodes well for either of our teams. And against Wagner, you could like 8 minutes into the game when the score is tied and Ramos is getting all these texts like, "Oh, is Carolina gonna lose to Wagner?"
What?
Just see that coming. I mean,
listen. I have a cakewalk and we're going to be well rested in the first round. You're going to have to scrap and claw against a very tough,
Dude,
physical
stop it.
Mississippi State
you know what I'm
team.
gonna say? I'm gonna say something right now, and I don't know if I mean it, but I'm gonna say it. Michigan State beats Mississippi State by more than North Carolina beats Wagner.
Whoa. Whoa.
You know what? I
That's
appreciate
all the
that.
time we have for today on episode 19. I hope you guys enjoys. We'll see you
No,
next
I appreciate that because memes and like pathetic stuff you say is just going to help grow this channel. So you're going to end
Ramos,
up on Shacked and a Fool.
we'll have some content for you this weekend. Derek will be recording some reactions from this game.